In the shadows of history, behind the grand speeches and public declarations, lies a hidden tapestry of secret deals that have shaped modern America. These covert agreements, shrouded in mystery, altered the course of history, reshaped alliances, and defined the American identity. Today, we unravel the untold stories behind these clandestine pacts, exposing the hidden forces that have steered the destiny of a superpower. Let's begin with a deal that expanded the very borders of the United States, the Louisiana Purchase. In 1703, President Thomas Jefferson finalized a secret negotiation with France's Napoleon Bonaparte. On the surface, it was a simple land deal, transferring a vast swath of territory to the United States for $15 million. But behind closed doors, this transaction was fraught with intrigue. Napoleon, desperate for funds to fuel his European conquests, sought to offload the territory. Jefferson, aware that such a deal might be deemed unconstitutional, operated in secrecy to secure the agreement. The result? America doubled in size overnight, securing its dominance on the continent. Yet few know how close this deal came to collapse. What if Napoleon had changed his mind? What if Jefferson had hesitated? One secret negotiation altered the fate of a nation. Fast forward to the 1940s. The world was at war, and America was faced with a monumental decision: whether to join the Allied forces. But before Pearl Harbor forced America's hand, another secret deal was in the works: the Destroyers for Bases Agreement of 1940. Britain, reeling under the weight of Nazi bombardment, desperately needed naval support. President Franklin D. Roosevelt, wary of public opinion against entering the war, struck a covert deal with British Prime Minister Winston Churchill. In exchange for 50 aging American destroyers, the United States gained access to British military bases in the Caribbean and Newfoundland. This deal, conducted without congressional approval, quietly pulled America closer to the war effort while maintaining the appearance of neutrality. It was a calculated move, a masterstroke of diplomacy, and a step toward the eventual Allied victory. Not all secret deals are celebrated. Some are remembered for the shadows they cast over American ideals. Consider the infamous Yalta Conference of 1945. In the waning days of World War II, Roosevelt, Churchill, and Soviet leader Joseph Stalin met to discuss the post-war world. Behind closed doors, they divided Europe into spheres of influence, setting the stage for the Cold War. The secret agreements made at Yalta, particularly concerning Eastern Europe, led to decades of tension, mistrust, and conflict. For many, it remains a stark reminder of how clandestine diplomacy can undermine the principles of transparency and justice. Now, let's turn to a deal that's less about land and more about power: the Bretton Woods Agreement of 1944. As World War II raged on, representatives from 44 Allied nations convened in a secluded New Hampshire resort to reshape the global financial order. The United States, emerging as the world's dominant economic power, spearheaded the creation of the International Monetary Fund, IMF, and the World Bank. But beneath the surface, this agreement solidified the US dollar as the world's reserve currency, cementing America's economic hegemony. While publicly framed as a collaborative effort, Bretton Woods was, in many ways, a strategic move to ensure American dominance in the post-war world. The secrecy surrounding these negotiations masked the true extent of US influence, leaving other nations to grapple with the consequences for decades to come. The 20th century also saw secret deals that weren't confined to boardrooms or diplomatic summits. Let's delve into the clandestine arrangements of the Cold War. One of the most consequential was the Cuban Missile Crisis of 1962. As the world teetered on the brink of nuclear annihilation, President John F. Kennedy and Soviet Premier Nikita Khrushchev engaged in a series of back-channel negotiations. The public knew about the dramatic showdown, but few were aware of the secret agreement that ultimately resolved the crisis. In exchange for the Soviet withdrawal of missiles from Cuba, Kennedy quietly agreed to remove American missiles from Turkey. This deal, kept hidden from the public for years, not only averted a catastrophic war, but also underscored the power of secret diplomacy in managing global crises. But secret deals weren't always about avoiding conflict. Sometimes they were about starting one. The Gulf of Tonkin incident in 1964 provides a chilling example. This event, which propelled America into the Vietnam War, was shrouded in misinformation and secrecy. Reports of North Vietnamese attacks on U.S. ships were later revealed to be exaggerated or outright false. Yet, based on these dubious reports, President Lyndon B. Johnson secured congressional approval for military action. Behind the scenes, the Gulf of Tonkin resolution was less about responding to an attack and more about securing a pretext for war. This secret manipulation of facts not only escalated the Vietnam conflict, but also eroded public trust in the government. The late 20th century saw secret deals with even more far-reaching implications. Take the Iran-Contra affair of the 1980s. This covert operation involved the illegal sale of arms to Iran, a nation under embargo, with the profits funneled to Contra rebels in Nicaragua. The Reagan administration, desperate to support anti-communist forces in Central America, bypassed Congress and operated in the shadows. When the affair was exposed, it sent shockwaves through the nation, revealing the lengths to which leaders would go to achieve their objectives. The scandal highlighted the dangers of secret deals, where the pursuit of political goals overshadowed accountability and the rule of law. Let's shift gears to the economic realm, where secret deals have also left their mark. In 2008, as the global financial crisis unfolded, the U.S. government orchestrated a series of secretive bailouts for major banks and financial institutions. Behind closed doors, trillions of dollars were allocated to stabilize the economy, often without public knowledge or oversight. These decisions, made under the guise of emergency measures, sparked outrage and debate about the role of secrecy in managing economic crises. While the bailouts may have averted a total collapse, they also exposed the deep entanglement of government and corporate interests, fueling public skepticism and distrust. As we move into the 21st century, the impact of secret deals continues to shape America's trajectory. The revelations from WikiLeaks and Edward Snowden have pulled back the curtain on the extent of government surveillance and covert operations. From secret trade agreements like the Trans-Pacific Partnership, TPP, to classified military actions in the Middle East, these revelations have ignited fierce debates about the balance between security, transparency, and individual freedoms. The American public, increasingly aware of the hidden deals that govern their lives, demands greater accountability and openness. But what does all this secrecy mean for the future of America? Secret deals, by their nature, operate in the shadows, often prioritizing short-term gains over long-term consequences. They raise profound questions about the balance of power, the role of transparency in governance, and the ethical implications of covert actions. Can a democracy thrive when its most critical decisions are made behind closed doors? Or do these secret deals represent a necessary evil in a complex, unpredictable world? As we peel back the layers of these hidden agreements, one thing becomes clear. The story of America is not just a tale of ideals and aspirations. It's also a story of intrigue, negotiation, and compromise. The secret deals that shaped modern America reveal a nation constantly grappling with its values and its ambitions, its principles and its pragmatism. And as new challenges arise, one can only wonder what secret deals are being made today that will define the America of tomorrow. Stay tuned for more untold stories, where history meets mystery, only on Al-Mukbir.